Hey bookers! So today, firstly, welcome back to my channel, Ibhuku. I hope you've seen my first video, which was basically a quick intro to what Ibhuku is and why a booktube channel. If you haven't, I'll put it up in the cards and you can quickly check it out after this video, of course. And before we kick off, just please subscribe, like, comment, follow Ibhuku on Instagram as well. Show some love, but yeah, let's get into it. Today we'll be reviewing The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. So Robin Sharma is the author that wrote The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. But this was my first experience of his writing, actually. So this is my first time reading a Robin Sharma book. And yeah, the title of the book, The 5 a.m. Club, Own Your Morning, Elevate Your Life. And get this, he has a quote, smack bam, in the front of his book from Paulo Coelho. And he says, Robin Sharma's books are helping people all over the world lead great lives. I mean, if you have a whole Paulo Coelho quote in your front cover of your book saying how great your book is, I think you've basically made it in life times 1,000, right? Yeah. So I chose this read because I was actually aiming to pick up my gym routine in the mornings. So I did want to get up again and go to gym in the mornings and start my day off fresh, start my day off on a good note, on a high peak, and basically sweating it out, right? And this is something that I used to do quite avidly. I go to gym often. However, I did want to pick up the morning routines as opposed to going to gym after work. So I thought, and I saw this book from a friend of mine, and I was like, this book looks like something that I can use to motivate myself to reach this goal, right? So I jumped onto the 5 a.m. Club and I was like, let me check out this book. And this was, I won't lie, this was in May. I think I purchased this book in May. Got the book, started reading it. And yeah, I'll unpack that now. But initially, the intention of reading this book was to get some sort of motivation for my morning routine. Cool. So I'm just going to kick off with my overall experience of the book. I think if your key objective is to be motivated, then this is probably a book that will help you do that. It did that for me. I started the book, started reading it. I really got into it, but I had a bit of a slump. But I did know that I would finish the book, right? And I wanted to finish it before year end. So with everything, work and whatever kind of being chaotic, I was like, okay, maybe I should try something different to get through this book. So I then reactivated my Audible account. So if some of you don't know what Audible is, it's the Amazon audiobook app. So I reactivated my Audible account and I was like, maybe let me try read or consume this book a bit differently. And this was actually a great experience because I was audiobooking on my way to work. I was audiobooking while I was driving. So I just consumed the book in a different way, and then here and there I'd still sit down and read the book itself. The one other thing I need to mention about Audible is that the one thing that I didn't really like about the audiobook for the 5 a.m. Club was the narration. Yeah, like I think his performance kind of made sense in certain areas of the book, but in some it just got a bit tedious. So I finished the book, but that was the one thing that I did not enjoy so much about audiobooking it and listening to the book. So yeah, I think if I had to give it an Audible rating, it would probably be like especially on the performance was low for me. So I would say it was a 6 out of 10. Just purely because of the performance and how the book was presented to the listener. But good experience. Good experience. The book itself revolves around four characters. Four characters: the artist, the entrepreneur, the spellbinder, and the billionaire. And essentially, the principles of building a keystone habit, or the principles of elevating your morning routine, or whatever routine you're trying to master. Well, I suppose in this case it is the morning routine, right? But instilling those principles, instilling different behaviors for you to reach a certain level of success, when it comes to self-development, when it comes to the way you think, when it comes to the way you approach your day. So all of those things are basically presented around the story of these four characters. What also really caught me was that it wasn't quite what I was expecting. But yeah, it's quite an interesting read. It revolves around a story. So it's some sort of non-fiction fiction. I think the storytelling part of the book was probably not as strong. But I think the principles were the core part of the messaging. The principles were the core part of the story itself, and those came through quite strongly. So I would say Robin kind of nailed it when it came to that. Yeah, there were just certain parts of the storytelling where it was like, this is like quite corny. Yeah. But look, I think for me it all worked in the bigger scale of the book, and I tried to not skip chapters or rush through chapters because I wasn't enjoying them that much, or I wasn't enjoying that part of the story or part of the chapter that much. So I tried to really just be objective reading through the book so that I could give a better opinion of how I felt and what I think about the book, having actually looked at the whole project, you know, in its totality, and not skip through things and not kind of skim read because I'm bored. Or yeah, the book is also quite a long read. Like I previously mentioned, it has 313 pages. It's got 17 chapters and an epilogue. I'd say just pace yourself. Read the book when you know you can really focus on it, because there's a lot to take in. Don't try rush through it. I really didn't try rush through it. Like I said, I did have a slump, but even when I did pick up, I was just quite pragmatic about how I would read the book, how I would consume it. So another part of the book, I think this is also what really makes the book. There are a lot of graphs and diagrams in the book in different chapters, right? And just flipping through the book, I counted about 13 different diagrams that kind of illustrate concepts that are referred to in the book while the story is being told. I think the most popular one is possibly the 20-20-20 rule. Otherwise, the victory hour principle or concept that is discussed. I think the other one is probably the 1991, which basically talks about focusing on one goal. I think the most exciting thing that I discovered about this book, and I discovered this having a chat with my mentor, and she said to me, you do realize this book has an app, right? Yes, an app. This book has an app, guys. An app. Okay, this book has an app. Yeah, I will link it somewhere to the cards. I will show it in the things. And yeah, I don't know, my mind was a bit blown. I was like, I have never read a book that has an app. And I was so curious about what this app does, what this app is, and how it links back to the literature piece. The app is free, and it basically gives you a 66-day challenge. It tracks your progress, and you can take the challenge on a daily basis, obviously 66 days. And again, 66 days is habit forming time frame. I quite enjoyed the app, and I was quite impressed by it, but it's quite user friendly. It's easy to understand. It's easy to just navigate and find the program and the program outline. You can scroll through the whole thing if you want to check out what, you know, what you're up against and what you'll be experiencing every day. What I loved about it as well is that it's a mix of content, right? So you jump onto it, there's a bit of a summary of what to expect for that challenge. There's a video sometimes. On other challenges, it's an audio that you just listen to. And this is Robin Sharma basically chatting you through the challenges themselves, chatting you through how they link back to the principles that are discussed in the book and how this is helping develop your daily routine, helping you develop your thinking around how you approach your day and how that might push your chances of a more successful day, of a more successful life, essentially. It does give you options to do morning meditations as well. So there's a whole list of different meditations that you can do in the morning, which I quite liked. Yeah, because sometimes you want to meditate or you want to just have a moment of but you don't know where to start. Not everybody has the full lowdown on meditation, so I quite enjoyed that there were a few options given to the user on how to have your own morning meditation. The other thing that's on the app is a leaderboard. So there is some sort of point system on the app. So the further you progress in your 66-day challenge, you get points for doing certain things, and essentially you get ranked, right? And this is with different people who are on the app, who are experiencing the 5 a.m. club, or who are part of the 5 a.m. club. And I quite like the idea of how the book kind of emulated into building some sort of online community around what being part of the 5 a.m. club is, what it means, how other people are experiencing it, how it's working for them. Another thing, obviously, about the 5 a.m. club kind of building some sort of online community, you can obviously share your comments and experiences on the app as well. So while you're doing your daily challenges, once you finish with your daily challenge, you can just post a comment on how your challenge went. You can post a comment on your meditation, on how it was. Yeah, so I think it's built some sort of online community, a bit of a forum on the 5 a.m. club itself, how it is and how people are using it to improve themselves, how to improve their days. Yeah. It's quite interesting how it just moved from just a book. Sorry, the tip of my nose is so itchy. Yeah, but how it's kind of moved beyond just a book to how it's built an online community, how it's probably created groups and pockets of 5 a.m. club members across the world, and how those people connect around this concept, around the principles of the 5 a.m. club. Who joins the 5 a.m. club? Who reads the 5 a.m. club? Anybody can join the 5 a.m. club, but to my thinking, you would need to have these three qualities. You would need to want to change something in your life. You would need to want to master a certain habit. You need to want to master the way that your day starts. 2, you would need to be willing to commit to a different way of starting your day, a different way of living, a different way of meditating, of thinking, of exercising. You'd need to step out of your comfort zone, because nothing great happens in your comfort zone, guys. So you'd need to step out of your comfort zone. My favorite things about the 5 a.m. club, or rather I think also just the experience of the 5 a.m. club. So I quite like the fact that it had an app that you could align to while you read the book, and it gave you things to actually do, to actively practice the principles that the book talks about. So I loved that. The other thing I really enjoyed are the illustrating the diagrams, illustrating the concepts that are spoken about in the book. I find that some self-development books speak about great concepts, great principles, but not many people can grasp what this means. And I think a simple or a quick illustration, graph, diagram really puts things better into context. So you kind of see just through a little illustration how this part of this concept or this principle relates to the other. So I thought that was a great help, especially because there were so many concepts to dig deep into. The illustrations came in really handy, and even if you kind of didn't understand what the text meant, or you just wanted to recap a bit of on where you left off, or which graph you last, read about, which concept you last took in, you can just flip back in the book and check out one of the diagrams. I just want to show you what I mean by these diagrams. Tons of these diagrams where this is actually the 2020 formula one. So so you better understand them, and I love how the infographics just make all the sense for me. And having done design, infographics are the hardest thing to crack sometimes, trust me, because they just need to communicate immediately. They need to make sense to the viewer and still work within the visual scheme of things. So designer nerd came out. But anyways, yes, so I love these diagrams. If you're struggling to finish the book, you can cheat. If you're struggling to finish the book, you can cheat. Page through it a few times, check out the diagrams, read the next page next to the diagram to see a bit of what are the principles being discussed, just to see if you're struggling with the book, is this something that you'd want to read more of? So is it a book that you'd like to finish? Is it something that would resonate with you and all of that? Because there's a lot happening in this book, guys. Yeah, so you can cheat, okay? Page through the book, check out the diagrams, see what you like, see what you don't like. And I hope that you get through it, because I do think it is a great book. And I would advise that you check out the app as well, and see if it works for you. The app could also be a good place to start seeing what kind of stuff is discussed in the book, seeing what kind of stuff is shared, and what you're basically getting yourself into. Okay? I wish I could roll my R's, but I can't. The other thing that I quite liked about the 5 a.m. Club is that, look, yeah, this is just me, right? I really felt like the principles, the concepts, the diagrams that are shared are things that are easily customizable. So you can almost customize your daily timetable to how it would work best for you, and where you could do your morning practices or your meditations or your reading times and all of that. So I quite like that some of the principles and the formulas shared are actually quite flexible in that respect. There's definitely more than one thing to try. You don't have to try everything. I, for one, I did not try everything. I just kind of pulled what I felt could work for me. And this book really resonated for me because I have somewhat been a part of the 5 a.m. Club before. I mean, I used to get up at 5 a.m., go to gym, and however, I wasn't part of the 5 a.m. Club in this exact manner. So there's certain things that I could take from it. There's certain things that I did already know. And there's certain things that I felt like, oh, okay, I can actually push myself a bit more when it came to this thinking. Yeah, I think for some, it'll be completely new concepts and principles to try and instill. For others, it'll just be pushing things that you already know, things that you're already practicing. And for others, it may actually just not even work or hit the spot or be interesting enough. So I would say, if it's not for you, then it's not for you, and it's okay. Okay, dirty dad, it's fine. So I find it very interesting when authors and publishing houses and the whole team behind these books, I love it when it goes beyond just the literature piece. I love it when it goes beyond just giving people something to look at and read, but looking into how people experience, how people engage with the book. And also it starts looking at what the content of the book can do for the reader or for the user of that app. So I really appreciated that. I think it's a big well done from me to Robin Sharma on how he has encapsulated and captured different ways to express the core principles and the core messages that are shared within the 5 a.m. Club. But yeah, that's it from Ibhuku. Thank you for watching this book review of the 5 a.m. Club. Please like, subscribe, comment, and follow Ibhuku on Instagram, and we'll catch up in the next video.